Happy Monday! It is the first day of the Books for the Brave readathon. So this is a charity readathon that I am co-hosting along with Leanne from Literary Diversions and Victoria from What Victoria Read. I will put links to their channels below, as well as links to our announcement videos and everything if you wanted to catch up. So let's get started. This readathon is all about raising money to provide quality of life support to NHS key workers who are the brave right now. And so in honour of them, we are doing this readathon that is all centred around being brave, reading books about brave people, reading books that intimidate us. And so I thought throughout this week I was also going to challenge myself to do something brave every day. And obviously we're all staying home right now. There's not a ton of options there. It's not like I can go skydiving or go like cliff jumping or anything. So I'm just going to interpret this to things that are brave to me. And I talked to RG about this and he had a really great definition of it, which is that I'm, along with a lot of people, scared of letting myself down, scared of failing at things. And so I'm going to try every day to do something brave, to do something that I don't know if I will succeed at or not. So today is Monday, but I have the day off work, so I've got a whole day of potentially failing ahead of me, and I thought I would try a suggestion from Leanne. She said, why don't you try baking something ambitious? Thing is, I don't bake at all ever, so baking anything is ambitious. So this really scares me. I've only just learnt to cook in the last year, and now I love cooking, but baking feels like a whole other science. It feels like it's way more likely to go really wrong. So I looked up some recipes of things I thought I could try, and I'm going to try a chocolate fridge cake, which like maybe doesn't count as baking, to be honest. What does baking actually mean? But we're going with it. It's making a cake type concoction. So that's my brave act for the day, but I also of course need to do some reading. And so I've already slightly changed my initial TBR that I thought of, but it's fine. No one's gonna mind. I am going to start with the prompt, which is to read a book where either the title or the author's name starts with NH or S, of course, for the NHS. And so I just got a book from NetGalley called You Will Never Be Forgotten by Mary South, S for South, which is a collection of short stories. I don't read short stories very often, so that also is, you know, another intimidating thing. And I'm really excited. They sound all a bit like Black Mirror-esque. They're all about technology. I'm really excited to read them, so that's what I'm going to get started with today. The idea of how we're raising money in this readathon is to encourage people to read books that they already own or that they just don't have to spend money on, and then donate the cost that they would have paid for a book to the charity. So I've done that. I've already donated the cost of 3 books to the charity page. That is still open. If anyone still wants to donate, it'll be open until I'm not sure when, but I will put in the description box below how long it's open for. All right, let's bake. What are you doing? Here are my ingredients. I measured them all out, so I'm totally ready to go. I just drooled. Okay, first we're gonna line a tin. I don't know what that means. Okay, now's the fun part. Once I get to get a rolling pin and just bash these to death.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
No, I'll try and catch it.
Okay.
Then try again. You ready?
Yeah. One more time. I'll get it back to you.
Okay.
Oh, I bent down to talk, but this actually smells so good. This hasn't done what I wanted to at all. Some bits are still massive and some bits are literally like into biscuit dust. And I want it to be like even broken biscuit crumbs. Okay, I'm problem solving. Okay, well that was exhausting and there's ginger nut dust everywhere, but I think I've got out most of the dust that I don't want, and I'm left with some nice biscuit crumbs of various sizes. Look how perfectly I measured everything out. Got golden syrup in a bowl, a plate of mixed chocolate, milk dark and extra dark, and my butter, ta-da! So now I have to melt all of that together, but it says to do it in a heat-proof bowl over a pan of simmering water. How do I know if the bowl is heat-proof or not? What is a heat-proof bowl? Okay, this is the setup we've gone for. Are we pleased? It's a big glass bowl in a pan. Feels weird, but okay. Basically a fruit salad, isn't it? Okay, I think that's done. It's a slightly strange texture. I almost think I might have burnt some of the chocolate, but it smells really good and we're gonna go with it. I'm very nervous about serving this up to my family, who have all been baking a lot recently. Being judged by experts. Whoa. A lot of my biscuit pieces I think are still way too big, but this is smelling legit sensational. So hopefully the chocolate will taste so good people won't mind that they're like breaking their teeth on these massive biscuit bits. How is it that it looks so good in real life and so gross on the camera? Okay, so I just looked to the next step. We're basically done. All I have to do now is put that into the tin and then put it in the fridge for 2 hours, which now that I think about it, duh, but I just hadn't considered that. So it's 3:30 now, and I was thinking like, cool, making these perfectly in time for tea time, but they now need 2 hours. So they might just have to be like an after dinner treat. I just have to, you know, check it's not poisonous. Follow me! Hey, coming through! Probably out of my way. Let's go in it. See you in 2 hours. So my reading update before we go and try the cake. I've read the first 3 stories of You Will Never Be Forgotten. They're not what I was expecting. So I was expecting something more Black Mirror-esque because that's kind of what I'd heard. But it's not. The first story was more futuristic sci-fi-y. The second stories weren't really at all. They just all have technology in common to some extent. But like in the second story, it's just about this guy who works at an old people's home, and him and the other staff there start listening in to the calls that the old people who live there are making to this like sex hotline, and they start listening to the calls. So the technology there is just like the phones and the fact that they're recording these calls, which is obviously there's a vision of privacy which like backfires on them. The stories are very strange so far, and this is what I often find with short stories is I just find it hard to get into them or know what's going on. I don't know what the point was, but I like the way they're written, so I'm definitely interested in keeping going. I made a cake. Wanna try some? Does it cool down, maybe?
Yeah. Wow!
That's the reaction I wanted.
It's amazing!
Isn't it good?
He's doing it again.
Oh my god, that's good.
Okay, for my brave task of the day today, I'm recruiting Archie to help me. Oh, he's left. This was another of Leanne's suggestions. She suggested that I try a trust fall, which is genuinely something that terrifies me. Something that I don't think I've ever successfully done in my life because I don't trust people. So I always chicken out. So we're gonna give it a go. Archie's gone again. Let's practice really close together so I get the hang of it. So I just fall. Oh my god, that's so scary. You have to catch me more.
We're really taking the trust out of this exercise.
I'm building up there.
Uh-huh. Oh, I caught you.
Okay, fine, I'll do it properly. How long am I going to be falling for? Ah! Oh my god, I hated that, I hated that. Did that count? I moved my leg. No, I hate it. Oh,
was fun.
that's the best you're getting.
That was good. That was great. Hello.
That was hideous. So it's day 3 of Books for the Brave. If I look a strange shape, it's because I've got a hot water bottle under here. So, how am I getting on? My reading update, I haven't got very far. I am struggling with the short stories, I always do. So I'm wondering if I should pause them for now and switch to one of the other books I was planning to read. So another prompt was to read a book that intimidates you, which I'm already doing with the short stories, but another one would be one of my Persephone books. I have a whole lovely collection of those. Every time I read them, like literally every single Persephone book I've read has been a 5-star read, and yet it takes me so long to gather up the courage to pick them up because for some reason they feel intimidating to me. They feel like they're going to be hard to read, and yet they never are. All the ones I've read so far have been really accessible and I've loved them. So I might swap to one of those, or the final prompt was to read a book with a brave main character, and I have a thriller with a brave main character who's trying to track down her sister's killer. So maybe that's the one I'll pick up next, just because if I'm already reading a book I'm struggling with a bit, maybe I need to break it up with something a bit more fast-paced. In terms of doing something brave for the day, what I'm planning for today is I actually have a therapy appointment over the phone later. And that's brave. It's a new person that I've never spoken to before. I have had therapy quite a lot. I'm a big fan of therapy. I think it's great. I think anyone who is able to can get access to it should definitely give it a try. I've seen a few therapists that have been fantastic and life-changing, but I'm trying a new phone counsellor, and that's always something that's a bit scary for me. It's scary opening up to a brand new person, so that's my brave act for the day. Okay, I had the session, so that was really useful, I think. I literally just got off the call, so still a bit worrying, but she gave me some little exercises to do, including like just very simple writing down the things you're worried about, because I think I often just like don't let myself think about things that are bad or scary. So I'm going to try that now, write some stuff down. So that's another intimidating task for the day, but then I'm just going to chill out and start reading this book. I can tell I'm really gonna like this book. Really strong opening. But now I'm sleepy. I've read like 50 pages and now I'm going to bed. I genuinely am worried that I might get to the end of this week and not have actually finished a book. Luckily I already donated, so it doesn't matter. But wow, just like not in a good reading time. Okay, it's day 4 and it's time to do my most intimidating task yet. I'm gonna cut Arjie's hair. I've never cut anyone's hair before, not even my own, and boys' hair is the hardest.
Hello.
I'm so scared. I've been watching YouTube tutorials.
And complaining the whole time about my hair, so I'm making her
your
cut
hair
it if
looks
she cares that much.
I didn't know why it wasn't working, but apparently I was holding it upside down.
I'm just gonna shave my whole head if I don't like it.
Oh, someone's hair just came off. He's kind of taken over himself because I wasn't doing a great job. Feel it and feel what you think. My conclusion is I think I've made him look significantly worse. What do we think?
I don't know, I can't see.
It's okay. Okay, it's day 5. I still have not completed a single book that I'm reading. I don't know how this is happening, but it is now time. Did I say day 6? Day 5. It's day 5, and it's now time for my 5th act of bravery. And this is the one I'm actually most scared about in terms of doing something that I might fail at. I'm going to try doing some writing. So I never write anymore. I used to love it when I was younger, and I have all these ideas for books I want to write, and I just never do it because anytime I put pen to paper, it just like, it looks really bad. Like what comes out I'm not happy with, but I know logically, of course, like of course it does, and everyone says the only way to write a good book is you have to write a bad first draft. So I think I'm just going to push on through. I'm just going to go and write that bad first draft and just remind myself how much I used to enjoy the process of writing, even if what I write never turns into anything. It just makes me genuinely so nervous. I don't know why. I used to think I was good at writing, like I did creative writing at school and uni, and I used to always think I was going to be an author. That was like my dream when I was younger. And I think because that's also built up, anytime I write something and I don't like the way it looks, and you know, I read so much, so I have like such a strong idea of what I think is good writing and what I want my writing to be like, but when I write a sentence, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like such a fundamental failing. So I just need to like banish that from my mind, because it's not. I'm just going to go and write something bad and I'm going to have fun with it. Nervous. We can do this. Alright, here goes. Oh, I find this really hard. I've written like 3 sentences and deleted like 55 because they just look stupid. But I'm telling myself it's okay to write something stupid. I get so worked up. This is so silly. Don't scare it away, but I think I'm on a roll. I've been wearing my sunglasses for so long it looks like I have a monobrow now, but that's just a sunglasses dent. So that was fun. My laptop's dying now, so I'm going to pause, but I wrote for like 2 hours. I spent the first hour trying to work on the book ideas that I've had for years and that I have like so much pressure on, and it just wasn't working and I was getting all stressed out. So then I tried loads of different things, and then I suddenly like hit upon an idea that I was having fun with. Not really an idea, just like I just started writing randomly and I was enjoying writing that character, and I wrote for an hour. So that was cool. But now I'm coming inside and stopping, and that was like weirdly really stressful. I don't know why that stresses me out so much, but I'm really glad that I did get into the flow of it. I nearly quit after the first hour and was going to just be like, you know what, that's it, I'm never writing. But actually I reminded myself that I can like it. When I get into the flow, it can be fun. Who knows when I'll next do that again. I finally did it. I finally finished a book for this readathon. Wow, that is the longest I've ever gone, probably without finishing a book. So this was Saint X. I loved this. So I described it earlier as a thriller, but it's not really a thriller. It's about a murder mystery, but it's a very literary, character-driven book, and I absolutely loved it. So it's about a girl called Claire who was 6, 7 when her older sister was killed, went missing, and on a family holiday on the last night, and was found dead a few days later. And these 2 men on the island were suspects in the murder, but there wasn't enough evidence, so they were never convicted. And then years later, Claire is now my age roughly. She's living in New York, and she gets in a taxi and finds that the taxi driver is one of the men who was a suspect. So it's about her kind of becoming obsessed with getting to know this man, hiding who she really is, and trying to figure out the truth of what happened, and also figure out the truth of who her sister was. And I thought the character studies in this book were amazing. All of the characters were so real, so believable, so like fully fleshed out people with unlikable sides to them, and you felt like you were inside all of their heads, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. So that's one prompt down. We only have a day and a half left of the readathon. I'm unlikely to finish 2 more books, so I'm going to go back to the short stories and see if I can finish them up this weekend. I haven't done my brave thing for the day. I have an idea of what I'm going to do, but firstly, I'm having a quick call with my co-hosts, Leanne and Victoria. We're going to do a little practice run ready for our live stream tomorrow, which, spoiler, is going to be my brave thing for Sunday. I don't mind going live, I find that fun, but hosting the live streams I'm just nervous about because every time I've done it so far, there have been internet problems. I'm just nervous it's going to go wrong and it's going to be my fault because of my channel. So that's my brave, intimidating task for tomorrow. I'll tell you about today's in a minute. Oh my god, look at my face. So instead of doing my brave thing, I got sunburnt instead and then got drunk. So I'll do it tomorrow. And it's day 7, the final day of the readathon. We have amazingly hit our target and beat it, which is so exciting. It will still be open for another week. The link is below if you want to keep donating to push that total up that we're raising for NHS charities together. But I'm so thrilled about how much we've raised so far, so thank you so much to everyone. Okay, I'm behind today on my brave tasks because I didn't do anything yesterday because I got too drunk, as I said. So I'm going to catch up now. I've got my final brave task tonight, which is the live show. But going back to task number 6, here was my idea. I'm going to try and play the piano. I haven't played the piano in years. I used to have lessons when I was younger, but I quit when I was like 16 and always really regret it because my sister kept going, and now it's really nice. You can just like sit down and play things and it sounds really pretty. I don't even think I remember how to sight read. I don't remember what the notes mean, so I need to find like the easiest piece of music I can find. Maybe we've got some like baby music still left over from when I was younger, and give it a go. I'm scared that this is going to be a very frustrating task if I can't do it. This kind of thing gets me really like worked up and frustrated if I fail at it. Okay, we're going to try some ABBA. Let's give ABBA a go. Okay, so I didn't finish another book. I actually DNF'd the book of short stories that I was reading because I was just really struggling with them. Short stories aren't generally my thing, and I was just finding these really hard to understand. I wasn't quite in the mood. So that means that I only read 1 book for this readathon. Usually I am such an overachiever with readathons and try and get all the prompts and like a different book for every prompt, and I just didn't, but it's fine. It's okay. I still donated the cost of 3 books because that was my intention, and now it is 10 minutes to go until our live show, so I'm just getting everything ready. Got all the competition winners ready to pick. Very exciting stuff.
Okay, we're live.
Ooh,
yay!
exciting. That live stream was so much fun. We played loads of games. It was really fun chatting to everyone. So many people came, which was awesome. And most excitingly, by the end of the live stream, we had raised £1,369, which is so cool. Our target was 1,000, and we already thought that was really ambitious. And we were like, we're not going to meet it. We'll just aim high, and we've beaten it thanks to all of you. So that's so cool. It's still open. The Just Giving page is still open until next Sunday. So I'll put the link in the description box below if you still want to donate to NHS charities together. But we're so grateful and so excited. So that was our first round of Books for the Brave. We do have plans for another round coming up later in the year, so watch this space for that. And thanks to everyone who played along with us. I loved that. Hopefully you enjoyed this not particularly reading vlog, more just like a Emma trying things that she's not good at vlog.